Good afternoon. Today is the 6th of August and we're at the Botley Grange Hotel, which is in Hampshire. Mr. Coleman, a rubbish mechanic, is visiting me for a couple of days in his lovely 1982 Ford Granada 2.8 Ghia Estate Mark II. One thing I've realised, despite this car appearing on the channel a couple of times, is I've never done a full walk around on this car. If you go to the Rubbish Mechanic channel, you will see lots of videos on this, and it's easy to understand why. I'll tell you why the boot's open again in a second. But this is a beautiful car. It's got some slightly interesting period modifications on it, like these Mark III Scorpio Cosworth wheels. That's because tyres, the original TRX wheels, are very, very difficult to find now and very expensive. It's also got a lot of optional extras that were how the car was ordered back in late 1982, such as these spot lamps and the fog lamps down here. The car is very, very original. There are one or two areas that have been changed on it, but you'd really never know unless you were a Ford Granada expert. It's got the pre-facelift wiper arms on it, which are metal, which actually suit the car better than the post-facelift ones. You can tell it's a post-facelift car quite easily, actually, because we've got the latest style mirrors on it. This is Strato Silver paintwork with a Chatsworth brown cloth interior. The blue interior was the most common, followed by the brown, followed by the green. I'm not going to lift the area where the spare wheel is in the boot, because that is a right pain to get at, and I'm not going to do that today. The rear seats do fold. Again, I'm not going to do that because that is another pain to do. And we've got roof rack Roy here, who looks like he's having a very nice time holding little Roy. It's quite a large boot. It's about, I think, 600 litres in this car. There is also an optional load blind you could get, which Mr. Coleman has somewhere, but he has to get a bracket to fit it. We're not going to bother with that. This has only ever been a car since new that came out in the summer. It's not been driven in the winter, so it's got no rolled silt on it. So the bodywork is in exceptional condition. The seats are very, very comfortable. There's absolutely loads and loads of legroom in the back of this as well. If you want to see what it looks like in terms of the head and legroom, then you can watch the Tree Jacket Reviews episode from May 2019, which was the first classic car I ever did, and it's one of the most popular videos on my channel. It's not hard to see why. Very, very nice feeling cloth, lovely period colour, wood door caps, and because this is a Ghia X, it's got electric rear windows. Mr. Coleman is very proud of this car. It's been in his family for at least 30 years, and really these are like a sort of way of life for him, because he's owned a lot of them and he's something of an expert on Mark II Granadas. I've driven this car myself a couple of times. I'm not particularly good at driving it because it has a single mass flywheel rather than the more modern dual mass flywheel system, which means you have to be a proper driver and not rush for gear changes and not sort of you know, be unaware of balancing the car correctly on the clutch and the throttle at the same time. You have to drive it properly. So we've got electric seats. They're actually heated as well. Got the air conditioning, which I just move the camera over here. Air conditioning as well. There is a manual sunroof. Trip computer. I believe it's a Bosch trip computer. It's one of the first ever trip computers fitted to a car. I believe an original stereo is going to go back into this, a Ford Motorcraft unit. As you can see, 4 electric windows, which are down there, and heated seats. It's a very, very well equipped car. The only one that was above a Ghia X in the lineup was the Executive, which was only available in 1984-1985. It's funny that actually at the end of production of these, Ford couldn't give them away. They are actually Mark II Granadas registered on E plates, which would be 87. But now these are quite valuable cars. Everybody loves them. It's really easy to see why. And this one's a very special one indeed, because the condition is exceptionally good. You just don't see things like this on the road anymore. And you know, we've been out today doing a bit of driving around some nice spots in Hampshire, and everybody comes and says hello and looks at you, and it just makes them happy, which is wonderful. One of the reasons why you should have a classic car. Right, let's get inside. Glove box. It's big enough for your secret mission documents and things in there. Got this enormous shelf up here as well, which I presume is a very early kind of thing for putting cups of tea and less secret mission documents here. 5-speed manual gearbox in this car. It's a very rare option actually. Most of these 2.8 Gear X's were automatic. Type 9 gearbox is well, it takes a bit of mastery, particularly if you're like me and the first time you drive it you can't put it in reverse. It's actually quite easy, but you have to let somebody know how to do it. Front and rear fog lamps. That control there is actually the fader control for the stereo, which is something I didn't point out in my review. Up here as well, another thing I didn't see in the review was this panel up here. It's really hard to see on camera, but this is actually warning lights for brake pad wear, and things like low fuel, low coolant, stuff like that. And there's the manual sunroof control. And here we have one of the main reasons why you want to have a Mark II Granada. Top of the range 2.8 litre Cologne V6 engine. This one has been slightly modified. This is a Granada Mark I style air cleaner with a Weber carburettor on it. Originally this had a Peerberg carburettor on it, and they were about 160 brake horsepower from the factory. This is about 165. Things like the coolant reservoir, the stream wash reservoir, those are actually in a different place that would be on an automatic Granada one with fuel injection. They all moved around in this engine, but it's actually remarkably easy to work on this engine compared with sort of like a KV6 that I've got in my Rover. Air conditioning as well is fitted to this car, which is lovely, and that is an original Ford Motorcraft radiator cap. They're quite hard to get hold of now. Battery is actually remarkably small considering the size of this engine. And at the back, that's where the air conditioning lives, just there. It's all just in lovely condition. Granadas do rust a little bit like most cars of this era, but this one is still absolutely beautiful. And I know it, all of you who watch the channel, you all love this car as much as I do as well. So the rear tailgate struts in this car, they're prone to failure about every 6 months if you have them refurbished or replaced. You can't actually buy them new anyway, and so because this is a car that doesn't come out very much and mainly goes to shows and things, which is why I'm very privileged to have actually driven this car, because not many people get to. Mr. Coleman just decided that actually it's not worth replacing them every single time that he wants to bring that for a season, so it has the impromptu little prop here, which is fair enough really, but if we're very careful we can shut that. So there we are, one of the most popular cars ever on my channel. I even used that as my thumbnail actually as well for a long time. It's just a wonderful car in every respect. You've got to be a bit of an enthusiast to own a car like this these days, but of course that's what Mr. Coleman is, and he knows these cars inside out. It's a privilege to be able to spend a bit more time with this, driven it a bit more, as you would have seen on the video yesterday, and to really know that actually this is one of the best cars Ford of Europe ever made. So thank you ever so much indeed for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more exciting content. Don't forget to like this video and to leave a comment below. We've got a Facebook page, facebook.com/Lloyd Veer Consulting. Also Instagram, instagram.com/Lloyd_vehicle_consulting. And of course, if you want to see more of this car, best place to do that is on the Roach Mechanic channel, Mr. Coleman's own channel. Mr. Coleman is over there, taking a little break. Some of the Granada material on his channel is the most popular stuff he's actually ever got, so obviously there will always be more of that for you to enjoy. So thank you.